I can have text follow my hand. Look at this incredible trick that I can do with something called masking. A personal favorite of mine is putting my text behind me. These are just a few incredible tricks that you can do in Filmora. Tip number 1. You can turn your speech into text. In Filmora, insert your video that has speech in it onto your timeline by clicking the plus icon. You can see at the bottom here that there are waveforms which indicate that I'm speaking. By right-clicking on the video, we get the speech to text option where we can choose between speech to text or dynamic captions. I'm going to select dynamic captions. We also then get to choose between making captions for the specific clip we're highlighted on or the entire timeline. Because we only have one clip on the timeline, I'm going to leave it at clip selection. Once you see the completed status, you'll see on our timeline that we now have dynamic captions. By selecting the dynamic captions, we have a whole bunch of different templates for those captions that we can choose. Let's select this one. We also then, by going to the Basic tab, get the option to change things like the font, the sizing, and specific active and keywords. So this is just an incredible test for how Filmora turns your speech into text. Tip number 2, text to speech. By going to the titles option and inserting a title onto our timeline, I can change my text to whatever I want. Still selected on my text layer, I can go to text to speech and find tons of different voices in the voice library. By hovering over one and clicking the play icon,
Wondershare, creativity simplified.
I can preview what that voice is. Selected on the voice I want, I can go down and hit generate. Once again, when you see the completed status, go ahead and close that window. Let's hear what this sounds like.
Filmora is awesome.
Filmora is awesome, and there are so many tools that we have yet to cover. Tip number 3, editing to the beat. Like many of these, this is available for both the mobile and desktop versions of Filmora. By inserting a song onto our timeline, we can right-click that song and go to Smart Edit Tool, where you'll see an option called Beat Detection. By clicking Beat Detection, Filmora automatically highlights and marks the beats of that song. Furthermore, if I right-click that song again, go to Smart Edit Tool, and go to Beat Options, I get the option to change which beat it's identifying. You can see natively it's on highlight every 4 beats, but if we change that to every 1 beat, it's now going to add a lot more markers because it's identifying every beat. What this does is make it extremely easy to time our clips to the beat. Let's see what this looks like when I hit play. On mobile, with the song selected, we can go to Beats and choose an option to generate for every beat. Once completed, we can click the check mark where you'll see it's added little yellow dots to identify the different beats of our song. Tip number 4, auto sync. If you have a video recorded on a camera and audio recorded on a microphone, this is great because you can right-click your clips and say auto synchronization. We can now see that our video and our audio are exactly sunk on the timeline. This also works if you have 2 cameras recording with audio. Just follow the same steps and both your cameras will be sunk. Tip number 5, silence detection and removal. By having a clip inside of your media bin, right-click the clip and say silence detection. This brings up a panel where we can select Analyze. Automatically, Filmora will identify the portions where we're not speaking and darken those out. When we click Export to Timeline, it'll export only the clips where we are speaking. You can also adjust things like the minimum duration, the softening buffer, and the volume threshold to change how Filmora identifies portions of silence. Let's go ahead and select Export to Timeline. When we zoom in, you can see that those in-between portions of silence have now been automatically removed. Tip number 6, overlaying video or picture-in-picture. In Filmora, you can have multiple layers on your editing timeline. What this enables is for a bottom layer and a top layer. By going to my top layer, I can change the scale, and now we have a video that's playing over top our background. In addition, if I stay selected on me and go to AI tools, I can select AI Portrait Cutout. What AI Portrait Cutout has done is remove the background from us. So now we can play the video and it's just us on screen. Tip number 7 is kind of like AI portrait cutout. It's chroma keying. If you have a video with a green screen background, you can select your video, go to AI tools, and under chroma key, turn that on. Filmora has now automatically removed that green background. Adjust your settings like tolerance and edge thickness to get a super clean cutout. If we import a video layer onto video 1, you'll see that our subject is now perfectly cut out and the green background is no longer there. Tip number 8, keyframes. Keyframes are essential to any sort of animation on a video. Let me show you how they work. Selected on my video, I can go under the Basic tab and choose to add a transform keyframe by clicking this little white rectangle. Once the keyframe is added, it both turns the rectangle blue and puts a little keyframe on our timeline. If I go forward a couple frames by dragging my timeline playhead, I can add another keyframe. On the second keyframe, I can choose to change things like the scale and the position of our video. If I really wanted to, I could change the rotation as well. We now have a great looking zoom between our two keyframes. If you wanted the zoom to happen faster, I could drag this keyframe closer to the first one. In the opposite direction, now what we get is a very cinematic, slow zoom in. If I right click, I can say show keyframe animation, and we can see that this is a straight line. By selecting on my keyframe, I can click continuous curve, and that's going to help smoothen out the motion between those two keyframes. Something that I do all the time for YouTube thumbnails is exporting still frames directly from my video. Filmora makes this easy. I scrub through my timeline to find an image that I think I could use. Then right under my preview window is a camera icon. By clicking on that, we get the snapshot window to open up. We can then change our export destination to our desktop, and when we click OK and go to our desktop, that snapshot is now saved in high definition. Tip number 10 is tracking, a personal favorite of mine. You can really track anything, but let's track some text. By going to titles and adding a default title, it puts a title onto our timeline. Selected on the first frame of our video that we want to track, I can go to AI tools, scroll down until I find motion tracking and turn that on. What that does is now put a block inside of our video that we can reposition to the area we want to track. Because I know I want to track my hand, I'm going to make the box just about the size of my hand. Then we can click Start Motion Tracking. You'll see in a couple seconds it's now perfectly tracked our hand. How we get the text to link to our hand is something called Link Element. By selecting that, I can select our default title. Our text is perfectly tracked to our hand. You can do this too on the mobile version of Filmora. Instead of selecting on my video, I'm now going to select my text layer and swipe over until I find the tracking option. From here, I can move the circle over my hand and click Start Tracking. You'll then get a similar effect where your text tracks your hand. Tip number 11 is something called masking. Now, the possibilities with masking are endless, but let's touch on a basic masking effect and then move to a more advanced. For this effect to work, you need two clips that are shot on a tripod where the camera does not move between them. On my first clip, I'm driving my car through the tree just like this. Let's move our playhead to just before we see the car, select our clip, and make a cut point. Now on our first clip, let's find the point that the car meets the tree, right here. On my clip, I'm going to select it and click the button M. That's going to create a marker on our timeline. For our second clip, we follow the same motion where I run from left to right through the tree. As I meet the tree, which is right there, I'm going to select that point and click M. This just allows us to easily match up those points on our timeline. I can now trim my top video layer to match how long the bottom video layer is. Selected on my top video layer, I'm going to select Mask and then click the linear option. We're then going to move the mask to the shadow portion of the tree and add a tiny bit of blur strength. This is just going to help feather in between. Disabling my bottom video layer will show you that our top video layer is only showing the right portion of the screen. When we re-enable our bottom video layer, it adds the second portion on the left side. When we play that now, you can see our car moves into the tree and we jump out of the other side. You may need to work on the timing of your top video layer, so don't be afraid to adjust it until you're happy with how it looks. Let me show you a masking trick called text reveal that is a little bit more advanced than what you just saw. By adding a default text layer, we can position this text right where the truck crosses over. So what I need to do is select my title, right click and say create compound clip. Selected on my compound clip, I now have the option to mask. We can create a basic rectangle mask that is the size of our text. I want the back of our truck to reveal the text almost like it's driving over it. So I'm going to position this mask at the back of the truck. And remember we spoke about keyframes, we're going to add a transform keyframe. Now moving my playhead forward a couple frames, I can drag my mask to the back of the truck. Shifting forward a couple more frames, we're going to reselect that mask and make sure that it matches the back of the truck. Now when we play this, you can see as our truck drives over our text, it reveals that. Make sure to add a bit of blur strength to feather how that effect looks. I think that turned out really nicely. Our 13th tip is text or objects behind our subject. Make sure you have a subject layer on video 1. We want to go ahead and right click and copy this clip. Move your playhead to the end of the clip and let's paste that new clip. We now have two identical clips, one on top of the other. On my top video layer, I'm going to go ahead and go to AI Tools and enable my AI Portrait Cutout. What that's done is clear when I disable video 1. We now have a cutout of our subject. Let's go ahead and re-enable video 1. I'm now going to add a basic title, and instead of it being on top of both of our layers, I'm going to drag our second video layer on top of our text layer. Now our text has moved behind our subject. And this can work not only for text, but any object you now place between our bottom video layer and our top video layer. And our last tip, tip number 14, is your video playing inside of your text. This is super easy. All you're going to need is 3 video layers. The first is the video that you want playing inside of your text. The second is a blank black background. And the third is your text layer. A little tip is on my text layer, I like to choose a font that's really big. Something like Roboto Condensed Bold. And let's go ahead and drag that and make it a lot bigger. Now selecting both my text and my background, I can right click and say create compound clip. This is going to merge those into one video clip. Under compositing in the basic tab, I can change my blend mode to darken. Now you can see that our bottom video layer plays within our text. And those are 14 of my favorite Filmora tips and tricks. I hope you found these useful, and I want to hear from you if there are any that I haven't touched on or you just want to share. I'm excited to get your input, and thank you so much for watching.